man, chapter 584. So, you get hit with all these feel-good moments. I totally love them. But I'm really hoping I'm wrong. Because I don't remember Sabo being mentioned before Ace even brought him up, right before Ace died. Luffy has a hate for the Celestial Dragons. Is Oda really going here? Did Sabo get killed by one of these Celestials or put into slavery or something like that? I mean, he wasn't mentioned before. Could happen. We know that with these Celestials, you know, what they say goes, man. What they say goes, and they end the chapter, they end the volume like this. If Oda wanted to expend some capital, he could do it here. Luffy is going through heartbreak. His brother died in his arms, flashbacks, powerless to stop it. We're meeting Ace, but potentially another dark memory. If there was ever a time to ramp up the melodrama and get away with it to where it won't feel contrived, now's the time to do it. So, I mean, Oda's got my attention now. Oda's really got my attention. Really got it. And I like this chapter. This is a pretty fun chapter, you know. I know you're like saying, how the hell is that fun? Luffy got the fuck beat out of him. Like, Luffy got the fuck beat out of him so bad that Luffy couldn't even drop the F-bomb. Like, he turned into a fucking Disney movie. But here's what's key about this, though. When you get the flashback and you see Luffy meeting Sabo and he's just like, hey, I just want to be friends with you guys, man. Like, that's all. Like, why can't I be friends with you? You know, Ace tells him at the end of the chapter, he's just like, yo, I can't deal with crybabies like you. You got to be strong. And it's like during that moment when Ace is realizing what Luffy went through in order to protect him, protect his secret, and did it out of genuine compassion. And you have Ace saying like, hey, do you want me to live? But Ace is thinking to himself, like people were saying the son of Roger needed to die. Sabo's like, do you have a death wish? And Luffy says, no, I want you to live. I have nobody else. So what I love about this is if the roles were reversed, if Luffy was the one to be executed, Ace would have done the same thing, and vice versa. If Luffy would have been in Ace's position and Akainu was coming for him, Luffy would have jumped in front of it. So I mean, I'm loving this brotherly love that we're seeing. And even in this, where Ace is an annoying little shit, what's really key about this is the fact that yes, Ace isn't necessarily deserving of the love and compassion that Luffy feels towards him, but at the same time, everyone has a starting point. Everyone has to grow. And for Luffy, on one hand, you could say like Luffy is the catalyst for Ace's growth, but Ace was already showing those signs before. He was already showing it. So you can't really peg that down on Luffy. And what I love about the fact that Sabo even tells Ace, like, look how long he's been getting tortured. He hasn't given us up, man. We've had time to move our treasure. We've had time to think things through. We need to get Luffy out of there. Luffy is getting his ass handed to him with gloves that got spikes on them and, you know, devil fruit, rubber fruits. I mean, Luffy, that stuff will hurt him. Luffy is being beaten, bloody. And what's got me is the fact that as this is going on, he's getting beaten so bad that the people watching are saying, like, hey, yo, we do this all the time. You've crossed the line, you gotta stop. And Luffy is continuing to get pummeled like there's no tomorrow. And yet throughout it all, Luffy does not give up Ace. And they say, just, you can stop this. Tell us where he is. Tell us where Ace is. Luffy says, I won't tell. Continues to get pummeled. I won't tell. Continues to get pummeled. It's very beautiful. Very beautiful what's going on here. And then to have Ace and Sabo just break in like how they did, and you got Ace ultimate alpha move. He tells Sabo, yo, get him out of here. I'm going to handle this. Luffy got a not Luffy, Ace got a fucking staff. This Bluejam pirate guy has a actual sword, and Ace still sees it through and gets the victory. He ends up getting this guy shot and killed. But that's when Sabo asked, like, dude, do you have a death wish? Do you have a death wish? Because what you're doing, you're gonna end up getting yourself killed. And that's exactly what happens. That hot-headed nature of Ace. And so what I love about this flashback is Luffy's personality is already there. The same way that Shanks took a beating for a greater good, for greater morality, it's the same thing that Luffy just did. So I mean, I like seeing that little element in that. And then at the same time, you see the hot-headed nature in Ace to where, because of what happened with Ace, there was no saving him. There was no saving him. Ace was always going to be a tragedy based on his personality, and I told you guys, like when I saw Ace a few chapters ago, like 71, 72, whenever he had that flashback to his childhood and he was getting angry, and you saw like his anger as a child. I see that, and it's just like, I've been told that. I've been told, like, hey, if you don't change, things are not gonna end well for you. You're walking down a lonely path. You're gonna push away everybody that loves you. You're not. I don't know, and I've said it. You know, I'm a very hard person to love. I'm a very hard person to love, and means a full-time fucking job, because I'm gonna make you work for it. So I mean, even now I can say it. Like, people that love me, I don't deserve it. Definitely don't deserve it. So for Ace to be at this point where Sabo's telling, like, hey, you're my best friend, but you got a death wish. What the fuck is going on with you? That was Oda right there saying it. Like, this dude Ace, he was beyond redemption, and it's because of the cards that he was dealt. And that's something I can relate to him. I can relate to him. When certain things happen to you, you just don't move past it. And yet, I think Sabo, not Luffy, Sabo, I hope I'm saying the name right, but I think Sabo was that one thing for Luffy, not Luffy, for Ace, that probably kept him teeter right there in the middle. And I think once Luffy got there and said, like, no, I want you to live, I want you to be my big brother, I want to be friends with you, I think that's when Ace got a reason for living. I think Sabo's what kept Ace sane. And that's what a good friend's there for, you know, to keep your anchor down. So, I mean, I like that. I like that, and I think that Oda, by telling this flashback now, because when Ace set forward to leave the island, it was just Ace, there was no Sabo. So I think that we could be tying back in with the Celestial Dragons, going back full circle to what started all this shit off. Because when they ended up on the archipelago, Luffy did the big no-no by knocking the fuck out of one of these Celestial Dragons. And if Luffy remembers what happened with Sabo, maybe Sabo got carried off by one of these dragons and made a slave or killed or something, or Sabo ended up taking a beating to save them. I mean, it would make sense now. It would make sense. I'm just impressed by the fact that Oda chose now to do this. Now to do it. Like, usually when you have major events like what just happened with the Paramount War, what happened on Marineford, usually when you have back-to-back deaths like this, you don't want to expend more capital. You don't want to use more melodrama. And yet, the way that it's been used, I mean, you just kind of roll with it because this is good. Like, we're seeing character development in very short flashbacks. I like this. You know, I'm not a big proponent of flashbacks, but I feel like if you include them in the story, it better serve a purpose to better give us an understanding of the characters. And so when you hear that there's these three kids who are raising hell, and it's because Luffy goes up to the old, and he says, you old hag, like, hey, I can no longer, you know, stay here, I gotta stay with them. And they're like, oh my god, I got 3 kids to take care of, 3 troublemakers. And yet Sabo feels like he will be Luffy's big brother as well, because he's older. And Luffy was only mentioned 1, so this is clearly a tragedy. So where's this going? And so my chapter question for you guys is, when you got to this point, were you thinking the same thing I was? Were you thinking that this was a tragedy waiting to be told? But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Have an awesome day, guys.